suggested by one of our clients. So we'll cover that one. Then we'll also cover the purchases printing daybook as well. So without wasting much of your time, we log in here. Okay. So I'm sure you're familiar with this. The login, you are familiar with it. There's no issue with that, right? So when you come here to process your invoice, follow me carefully. So look at what has changed. So let's say I want to use Castle here, right? So tax invoice here. Then you always come here and select your product. So I would say, for example, accommodation, Lower Zambezi. This one, yeah, is for those who are in the tours. So sales, and then let's say how many people are, maybe one person is paid for the same. Then we say, yeah, safari tours as well. Yeah. So remember, accommodation attract tourism levy. So at the moment, the moment you select there, the system knows to say it has to calculate for tourism levy and VAT. But tour, this one, no. Let's say this one won't attract VAT. So let me say I want also to include a product which maybe you want to enjoy it in your room. Yeah. So here, maybe you are buying 5. All right. These are enough for this purpose. So we save, this is the ID number 66. So we save that record here. So when you come here, you select that number there. Then you wait a little bit for the invoice to be processed. Once you can see it has already succeeded. So now we simply say, okay. So now, see now what has changed. So I'll come here and say print the invoice. Yeah. So this is the invoice. Now follow me carefully. Have you seen the invoice format has changed? It's picking the SDID number. Okay. Now, since it's an invoice, it's also adding with the INV here at the beginning, okay? Then the actual invoice, which comes from ZRA, it is at the end of the slash. The slash also comes automatically. This is the new requirement, okay? So all the invoices which you will be issuing, they will be starting like this. When you are filing the VAT report, you need to get the whole lot of this. Otherwise, your VAT report will never go. Please, let me repeat myself. When you are filing the VAT report, this has to be there. But are you going to capture it manually? No, we have already done a good job for you. Now, get this one. So you have this invoice number 396 followed by the SID number and the 3 characters here. All right. So tourism levy, if you check, is calculated from accommodation. Okay, where there is accommodation here, that's where the tourism levy is calculated. 1.5% of this. Okay, plus also VAT. Okay, those which do not attract VAT is you can see it's 0 here. Okay, when you do the mathematics, you still come to this. Yeah, which is the addition, basically the addition of all these. Okay, so now, without wasting much of your time, you need to post this one to the ledger. Okay, so we post that to the ledger. Posting to the ledger means we are also updating the stock party to ZRA. You can see succeeded there. Again, there must be another succeeded. So this transaction is complete, right? So now we wanted to see the VAT report. The VAT report, which we will see, or the sales report, has also changed. So you come in here, you do it like this. So if you are interested with only a summary, okay, so that because when you're filing an invoice, you don't file product-wise. You just get one invoice, yeah, summarized together, okay? So now, if I do this, okay, today is 16 up to 16, right? Yeah. Yeah, just like this. Now, I want you to look at the detailed one first. So if I look at the detailed one, okay, have you seen that is giving me now, yeah, 66 is coming like this, but you don't follow the VAT reporting because this one shows you the item wise, the quantity and what, where, and everything there. But you don't want this. You want a summary report which will help you to simply grab one line and uh, file your report there. How are you going to do it? You simply close here. This one is required for audit purpose. It's very important. Okay, you come here. Instead of clicking this, you click on this one. All right. So you see, invoice number 66, ID with the ID 66 with this invoice number now. With the 396 at the end, it has summarized everything for you. So you are getting only this invoice and the values here. Okay, rather than the detailed one. This is the way how you want your VAT. This is the way how they want your VAT return to be filed. You get the whole lot, this becomes the whole invoice number. Okay, as you can see, you see, actually incremental. The first one which we did before you was the 395 for testing purpose. Now the one which we have done together is this one, 396. Okay, so you have the total there. Now, taking note of the total, VAT here is 937.93, right? So we close it here. Yeah. So this one is just for quick auditing. Yeah, if you want to know which invoice failed. So this is the one. So nothing has failed here. Okay, all the invoices went through. All right. So now we can close it here. All right. So now we want to go to the customer ledger. Okay, remember we use the Castle. We want to see what happens there as well. So I'll get this one, same here. Okay, so I say the Castle here, then data's, press enter there. Okay, now do you see? Now here you have to be very careful. Please, 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 let me emphasize. You have to be very careful. You have to be very careful. Yeah. Here, have you seen this number here? This is a credit invoice. Okay. So when you are receiving the money, you have to quote this. What do I mean? Okay. So you can see this is the same invoice that is coming from the other side there. It's also in the same format with your VAT return with the total 4,650. Yeah. Suppose your customer is only paying part payment. Okay. What happens from there? Okay. Let's close here. Want to process a receipt for 4,000 kwacha only so that we have a balance of how much? Here it will be 650. Yeah. Although there are some opening balance which are coming through, obviously. Yeah. Yeah. But forget about that one. We are only interested with what we are doing now. So now, uh, we come here and say we need to process a receipt for 4,000. Okay. So here we say these are cash. Maybe they have paid. If they have paid by check, those checks are no longer applicable now. So let's say cash, or it can be a transfer or anything. So let's say maybe the bank is ABC. Yeah, ABCA, that's your bank. Okay. So now the debt here. Now careful here. The exchange rate which you selected at the beginning will pop up when I selected it, when I update the date. Okay, do you see that now the exchange rate is 1? That is the exchange rate which you selected at the beginning when you log in. It knows, the system picks that exchange rate in memory so that you don't have to be retyping it manually. So now we said we are going to process how much? 4,000 kwacha. Okay. Now, this is where it matters most. What's the invoice number? You are going to type in the invoice number the way it is. So 00, okay, 100 again. How many zeros? 4 zeros. 869 stroke 396. You type, please type in like this so that your data capturing is accurate. Okay. So now, which customer are you assigning this transaction? It went to Casio. So you simply say select Casio. Everything is now assigned to Casio through via receipt control. All right. So what do? You simply save that transaction. When you come here, you give your customer a receipt, official receipt here. Okay. So 16 to 16. So you give your customer an official receipt. You print an official receipt here. All right. Have you seen that the invoice number now comes here? The customer knows exactly which invoice they are paying for. They are paying for this invoice. Okay. So this is the way how it works there. All right. Yeah. So at the end here, at the end of the receipt report, it gives you the what? The amount in Kwacha there, 4,000 exactly, which is that one. Okay. And the barcode there, which is okay. After I have done that, what you are interested in is to make sure that that receipt goes to your customer ledger. So you select here 5, receipt number 5 or ID number 5 and post it so that it goes to the customer ledger. Okay. So now we have posted that, then exit here. Okay. Customer ledger, instead of closing this same invoice form, you can still go to the customer ledger here by simply populate the date here. Okay. Remember it was a cash sale. So we populate the date here, which is this one. But this one we are saying these are data. Okay. Good. See now what has happened. Do you see that the 4,000 which we paid comes in minus? And remember I was talking about the 650 which will remain. Here is your 650. Now, the reference number, it brings now together the receipt referencing the invoice number. You can see this invoice number is the same as the one down there. So that the person who is reconciling the data do not have any issues whatsoever. Whatever you are doing, even if you are not, or you have moved out of that office, people should not have problems to know which receipt was being paying for whatever invoice. This is the way how you do it. Okay? So it doesn't end there. All right? So now, since we know this is our customer statement, it will age here, definitely. You can see it's aging there nicely. This is okay. Yeah. So now, what are we going to do now? The next thing which we'll do, we'll simply say, okay, fine. Now, suppose I wanted to see my cash book, okay? So your cash book is divided into the main cash book where you have to do the transfer, all the receipts which are in the cash receipts the cash control goes to the cash book. Now, for you to do that, you needed also the receipt summary for the day or for whatever day so that you are able to transfer the receipts properly. So in that case, you simply come on the cash book here. So if you simply click here where it says view report, it won't accept it because you haven't selected the date. Which date are you looking at? So we are looking at the date number 16 of February. Okay, here. Okay, and the preview here. All right. So you see, so ABC, we have a 4,000, okay, which is there. So this is the invoice which we are paying. As you can see, everything is, they explain for themselves. You don't have to worry for anything. And it tells you to say, this is a Kwacha transaction, ZMW here. All right. Yeah. So this from there you'll be able to transfer to say, okay, I'm transferring this 4,000 because I've seen it. It is appearing in the bank. If it's not appearing in the bank, then you don't transfer it until it appears. If you gave your cashier maybe he was supposed to bank the 4,000 and that 4,000 is not banked, simply transfer the 4,000 kwacha into staff data. There is a shortage. What are you going to do? It's a shortage. Yeah. So this is what is required. What about purchases? How are we going to handle the purchases? Because when you are filing VAT, you need also the purchases as input. So let's assume that, okay, fine. For purchases, okay, uh, you want also to view the purchases. Okay, the way the purchases will appear, you go under purchases book like that. So you select, let's say maybe, okay, let's see if we have any purchases for 16. All right. So we do it like this, then preview, right? We have also, sorry. So these are the purchases which are there, also summarized there, all right? The TPN number, date, the invoice number, similar format like the other one which we had, the VAT separately and the VAT inclusive like that. This helps you now to handle the purchases. These are straightforward as well. So, in the nutshell, this is what he has changed. And you have to make sure that you implement. Now, when you check your trial balance, okay, your trial balance looks like this, okay? Let's see what happens with our trial balance, okay? Is our trial balance balancing or not? Okay, so this is your trial balance, eh? Yeah, your trial balance balances to 0. You can see here, this minus here, the other one is 0 here, all right? You have all these transactions here, all right? So you can see the stocks, whatever you are selling, creditors, you remember that 11,000 we haven't paid is here, all right? Yeah, suppose we pay this one, then it will move to, you can see here we have payment control account with, receipt control account. It has 4,800 waiting to be taken to the, whatever you see here means the money hasn't yet gone to the bank. When the money goes to the bank, you simply transfer receipt or deposit wise, which is broken into receipt, into the cash book, which has the money banked into or bank account. Okay. Similarly, if we pay something here, okay, let's say the 11,600 is paid. The whole 11,000 paid will come under payment control account to represent that, okay, the money is no longer in creditors. The reason why it will be in payment control account to represent a credit is because it's not yet presented to the bank. So we haven't yet escaped from the liability. In an event, nothing happens, we will have to reinstate it back to the creditor. That's what it means. Okay. So now, let's assume that now we are paying 11,600. Okay. You simply come here. I think I'm not losing you people. Yeah. You simply, this is pure accounting now, and I expect accountancy to be ready for this. You come under purchases here. Then you use this one payment voucher. Then here, let's say you are paying the same day today. Then who are you paying? This one levy. Okay. So reference number, you may say transfer. It's customary that you put the transfer number there. Maybe from your book, maybe this one is in number 2. Then here, how much, what is the exchange rate? Exchange rate, let's say 1. Yeah. So now, here, all right, which invoice are you paying? As you can see the invoice number comes, they are waiting here. All right, they are waiting for you. If this person has several hundred invoice or whatever, you will see a list here. Your job is to simply select the invoice which you are paying for. That's all. So if you are paying party payment, let's say 10 pin, you put type in 10,000 there. Then the system will keep 600. Is it 1,600 for you? But for the purpose of this, I want us to pay everything. I will say final payment. Final payment. Right? Then now, what do? We simply save the transaction here. Then, after I've done that, print the transaction, the payment voucher here. Okay, so I'll simply say today up to today. Then print this one. This is a payment voucher which you have printed for approval. The people who are supposed to approve, they are supposed to approve this. Okay? You can see you are paying the full 11,600. Okay? On which invoice? That invoice. Very important. That invoice comes automatically. Wherever it is, wherever you captured, it will also come here following you. Okay? So now, after you are happy to say the voucher is printed, everything is okay, you can simply close it and authorize here. Okay? Approve it. Okay? So it's approved now. It's gone. That transaction is gone. Okay? Even if I try to do this, okay, let's see. Okay. I try to do this. It will tell me to say this document is already approved, can never be edited. So you can't edit this one. It's gone. Forget it. Yeah. So now, if I go back to my trial balance here, okay, my trial balance, I go back there and select today's date and do this. Okay. Say preview. Let's see what happens. Have you seen that a new account is now introduced, payment control account? That 11,600 has shifted from creditors to here. Or in simple terms, I can simply say this payment control account represents unpresented checks, those who did it old school. Okay? Receipt control, this is what you use to call uncredited deposits. Okay? That's what they are. At the end of the day, here there was the balance, the trial balance was still balanced. That's how it works. Okay? So we have dealt with the pure accounting here. All right? So I want to go in some other details. I think, yeah, the other thing which we can do is to check in our supplier ledger. What has happened to the supplier ledger? Okay, supplier printing ledger then. I think it was levy something. So if I do this, let's see what happens here. Okay. Yeah, on this levy guy. So creditors, these are creditors, all right? And we try to do this. Ah, there we are. Now, have you seen what has happened again? So it has quoted the invoice number there, which we are paying, okay, to cancel out, okay, yeah, whatever the invoice was. The invoice number was this. The invoice full amount document currency was that. It was credited. Okay, this was a liability. Now, we have paid, so it's a debit. So we don't have anything now pending for this one levy. Have you seen? So this one is a very, very straightforward accounting package. Yeah. So that's how these things are done. So we are done everything. So I thought maybe this is where we can end. I can end here. Now, the only thing which I can now tell you is the project for weather report was already done last year. I think we showed you that one. Then we did also the exchange rate. The exchange rate 2 is also there. Then now, what we are going to work on for this year 2025 is the SMS or mobile money. If someone is paying through mobile money, that money should hit your accounting package. Okay? There is a way we are going to do it. Okay? Wherever they can be, they don't need to go to your